everyone, Jacqueline here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to prune the hydrangeas and then we're going to fertilize them. They really need to be done, and I'm going to show you the status on the ones that are around the gazebo, because those are the ones I started from cuttings and they actually took, versus the ones over in the cottage garden which did not take. Now I did plant those probably 2 weeks before the other ones, so I'm thinking that's the distinguishing factor. But anyhow, I'm happy to have some take root, which encourages me to try it again, but so that they have a chance to grow. So we're going to fertilize those shoots, those cuttings, and we're going to get those going. In the meantime, we're going to prune back the other hydrangeas, which are mostly limelights, and some Annabelles, and fertilize them. So let's get started. You'll remember in this bed I did plant some peonies in here as well. You can see them here. So this is top brass. This is a white one here. And then we have coral there. And there's a few of them in the row all the way along here. So we definitely have some beautiful flowers that are going to come up here this year. Hopefully the peonies will bloom. We'll find out. But this is not what we're here for. We're here for the hydrangeas. So we have one right here. And these were late seasoned hydrangeas that I planted. So we're going to give these a prune and then we're going to feed them. So I'm trying to be a little more proactive on my feeding of plants because I like to let them naturalize, but also I kind of want to put on a good flower show for you guys. So anyhow, we're going to come through here, and this hydrangea doesn't have a lot of stems on it. We will leave some of these stems just to support the new shoots. So I'm going to take them down to right about there. I'm going to cut this dead wood off right here. And like I said, these are limelights. The new growth is coming from below, and we're just going to clean them up. There isn't a lot to take, but there's enough. And that's really all we need to do with these to make them look good. And then we're going to fertilize. So I have a bag of Miracle Grow. This is their fertilizer for flowers, trees, and shrubs. Hydrangeas can use it too. I put it in a bag because I don't like the way the container pours. I find I get it all over. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the mulch out from around the plant, all the way around, and then we're just going to put a ring of fertilizer around it. That's the easiest. And I love this tool. I wrecked my old one. It actually fell apart. Must have been 20, 30 years old. So that's a pretty good life of a tool. And there's a joke somewhere in there. And anyhow, I got a new one last year. So I am back in business. We're just going to pull this back like a ring. And I do this with my shrubs too. I work in rings. And it works great. You can also use the rings to also hold moisture in for your plants, and particularly trees is the way to do this, and you will have great success. So I'm just going to pull this back a bit more, and this was an easy one to prune because quite honestly it did not need much. So we're just going to go in here into the bag, and I'm just going to take a handful and I'm just going to spray it around the outside. You don't have to overfeed it. I see people go and give cups, like mega 4 and 5 cups to these plants. You don't need to do that. They don't need that. That's too much. If you're going to fertilize throughout the summer with your plants, then you just need to give it a gentle fertilizing in the spring, and then you can come back later once you get some active growth and fertilize again. The key is all about the active growth. So we're just going to put the mulch back over on the plant right here, so you can see it. And I'm just going to put you back so you can see a little bit better, because I think you're seeing mostly my legs. I'll get out of the sun so you can see how I'm covering that up and just putting the mulch back. And that was a real easy job. Let's go on to the next one over here. You're going to get a better view here because we have sun. And we're just going to give this a quick prune. And then we're going to pull back the mulch again. Like I said, these were newly planted, so they're not too bad to prune. But we are going to clean them out a bit because it's just to give support. So this one's going to get more of a haircut. I'm going to take this old wood right down here. And there. And that really makes a huge difference. Not a big job. It's just when you have so many, you have to travel to do all your work. And that's what takes the time. Okay, let's pull this back. You see my fertilizer there? And I'm just pulling the mulch back. And the ground's really moist over here, so they definitely don't need to be watered in. And look at this. I'm finding ladybugs all over the yard. They're everywhere. So we're just going to set that down and not bother them. I found a whole bunch in the rose bed. So that must be where they overwintered, underneath the tarp and underneath all the mulch, which is kind of cool. And let's just give a handful. So approximately one handful and a little bit to the plants, just in the ring. And then we cover back over again. Let's put that mulch in place to keep that moisture in. Now hopefully we'll start seeing some growth on these in the coming weeks, but we're going to give them a cut anyhow. And this one I'm just going to take the tips off and the old wood off there and there. And that's really all you need to do to newly planted limelights when they're not very big, or Annabelles. So we'll just pull this mulch away again and get this done. Here are one of the peonies. You can see them here. This is Patio Madrid peony, perennial. I love the color. It's got a soft pink to it with a yellow center, very, very light pink. We have shoots already coming up from the root, and that is good news. Those were $1 last year on sale. So if you can't afford to, buy a lot of plants in the spring, don't fret about it, because you can get deals in the fall. So you can plan that way as well in your garden. All right, let's move on to this hydrangea. I just wanted to show you that because that's a great sign and definitely a budget-friendly plant. So those are done around the cottage garden. Now we're going to head over to the gazebo and do the ones that I started from shoots. Now, I've decided to name the cottage garden Matildas Garden because she's been so inspirational to me and such a faithful little friend that I wanted to do something special for her. So we're calling it Matilda's Cottage Garden. And when it gets done, it will be gorgeous. And you're going to see that this year. So let's move on to the other ones. I'm going to show you what I mean about these hydrangeas that I did from cuttings, that they are firmly rooted in there. Like all the rest, when I went in here, I could pull these stems out. This one's actually rooted, so I can't pull it out. So we're going to leave it, and we're just going to fertilize it and cultivate it in. And these were Annabelles. So we're just going to give it a bit of fertilizer like that and cultivate it in. New shoots will come from the root system, but that stem needs to stay there. It also provides a great marker. And then I'm just going to break up the soil a little bit. And this area was heavily composted last fall, so I won't be adding too much more compost to it, but I might make the bed wider. You know, us gardeners, we always want to make things wider. So that's all I'm doing to that one. You can see we just put a layer of fertilizer around it and we just leaving it alone. Now in here, we can also do roses. So I have some little roses right here that we could do. I'll just turn to it. So I'm just going to take the soil back from it a bit, and I'm going to give it a sprinkle of fertilizer too. And it looks pretty good. We do have some stems on here. I'm not going to fool too much with it. We've got some shoots. There's some little red shoots right there. So we're just going to give it a feeding. If you can do a bed all at once, you can save yourself a lot of time. So roses always are heavy feeders, so we need to give them some fertilizer. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to move the soil back and leave it alone. I already ripped my finger open today. You'll see right here. See if I can get it on camera, upside down. In the miniature rose bed, I decided to uncover it and, well, kind of slice my finger open. Those little roses are sharp, but that was what I call a dumbass move, because quite honestly, I should have had gloves on. So will I learn from that? Probably not. But you know, life happens. And there's good shoots on this rose as well, right here. You can see it right there. It's got nice shoots on it, so we're just going to fertilize, cultivate it in. I probably won't do this to perennials too much, even if they're new, but definitely the roses and the shrubs. So I recommend to anyone on a budget, fertilize the important plants that make the statement pieces in your garden. And the perennials, if you have time and you have money to buy fertilizer or compost, give them a feed of that. Otherwise, don't worry about it. All right, so I think I've done enough in that video. I got a lot of fertilizing done of roses around the gazebo and around Matilda's cottage garden. I'll have to get used to that. So the roses been done, hydrangeas been done in those areas. I do have other areas, like I have the front yard and I have side areas to do. So I'll have to get at those. But for now, I'm happy with the results. And it's been a beautiful day and it's time to go have supper. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And welcome to spring, finally. Bye.